Hi there, it's Natasha and thank you so much for joining me today. Now I have this paper pad here called Rainbow Illusion and it is very rainbowy. There is some really unique designs in here and some really gorgeous ones that I like. This is very thick cardstock. It's 230 GSM, which is, it depends on where you convert it, but around 110 pound paper, so it's pretty thick. And I must admit, some of the designs in here are not exactly my kind of thing. But some of the other designs and the colours of the paper pad were really interesting to me. So this is a paper pad from Elena Crafts, and she sent this paper pad to me. So I have picked out this piece here, which I really love the colours in this one. And I'm just estimating, I'm doing a couple of inches, but in a minute you'll see that I keep kind of trimming this down. I think this is about 3 and a bit inches that I have cut here, and I want this to go across the middle of my card. I love the kind of tones and colours in this piece of paper. And it's definitely okay if not all of the pieces in a paper pad are kind of your thing. So you just kind of make the most of it and use the bits that are. And that kind of also creates a little bit of a challenge, and that can be fun to get you outside of your comfort zone as well. But the one really good thing about a paper pad is that usually all of the colours are coordinating. So if you really struggle and are not sure how to put things together, which is often how I feel, I don't feel the best at coordinating everything, I just use everything out of the same paper pad, and that is what I'm doing today. So I'm using a stamping platform today, and then I'm using this one from the Woodware craft collection called Petal Trio, and I'm just going to pop it down right in the center of my card base. So this is a 110 pound Nina Solar White card base, and I'm also going to use a little bit of tape to keep it in place because I definitely don't want it to shift. I'll use some VersaFine Onyx black ink, just a really nice dark permanent ink here that I'm going to add, and I will stamp this a couple of times to get a really nice dark impression. Then, because this is a pigment ink and it stays wet a little bit longer, I'm going to heat set it to make sure it's completely dry. I don't want to smudge anything. Then I'm going to use that pattern piece of paper and pop it right exactly where I want it to go in my card. To hold it in place, I'm going to use a little bit of removable adhesive. I love this one from Tombow. I have used it for many, many years and I haven't found anything that's just quite as good, so that's definitely my favorite. I'll ink up my stamp again and stamp right over top so that I am getting that colored pattern piece of paper. Now this card is definitely one of those cards you want to remember because it is so quick. It was a really quick card to put together and so easy. And to be honest, this was one of my favorites that I've made recently. I really love how this card turned out. So I'm just going through my paper pad and finding 3 colors that I'm going to stamp those flowers in. So I'm putting down a piece of scrap paper here, very briefly inking up my stamp and then just stamping it down lightly. It doesn't matter if I get a good impression, and this is just my guide as to where I'm going to put my pattern pieces of paper. So I put a tiny little bit of removable adhesive on the back of that pink piece there, and you can see that it's got a pattern to it and there's different colors, and that's what I wanted. I don't want it to be just a plain piece of cardstock. So I was aiming to get that nice big middle flower there. I'm going to flick through the paper pad and find something else, another color that I can use, and I really like the kind of blues from this one, so that's what I'm going to go for in the corner. The actual pattern of the whole piece of paper there is probably not something that I would use, and so it doesn't bother me that I cut into it to use it for a different reason. I stamped the top flower there ready to go, and then again I'm going to do the same thing here and kind of catch that yellow piece down in the bottom left hand corner. And then this will be the final flower that I need to stamp. And again, this was kind of the inspiration for my card today. I really liked some of the colors that were in the paper pad, but not necessarily the whole entire sheets of paper. So I am loving the outcome of this card. So I encourage you to do the same thing, kind of have a look through your stamp collection, and the stamp doesn't have to be one big total joint stamp. You could definitely add lots of little stamps together to create a pattern on the front of your card panel, and then do exactly the same thing. You can just stamp them out, and I fussy cut these ones. Now, as I said, guys, I bought a few new stamps over lockdown, and so you are going to be seeing these stamp sets reoccurring throughout my videos. I like to get really good use out of the stamps that I do buy. So here we go with the Altenew Sentiment Strips 2. I've added some anti-static powder pouch to my black piece of paper, which is pretty important when you're doing white on black paper, because every little speck will show up on the black cardstock. So I have heat set that with my heat tool, and then it's a case of putting everything all together. So all I have to do is match up exactly where that pattern paper goes on the front of my card base there. And that's nice and easy to do. I'm going to put that one nice and flat just with some liquid glue, which is the Ranger Multi-Medium in the matte finish. I will link everything down below in the video description box. Anything that I can't find, I apologize, but as I said, I'd like to get really good use out of the things that I buy, so sometimes that means using things that have been discontinued, and I hope that you are able to kind of have a look through your stash and find something that's similar. And that way we don't just have to go out and buy things. So that's what I hope anyway when I'm making these videos. But as I said, I did get a few new stamp sets over lockdown, and I'm loving using them time and time again. So you guys are going to see them come up lots, which I hope is okay. Anyway, I popped some foam squares on the back of these flowers. I'm popping them all up, and check out this gorgeous dimension when I turn the card. I love this. It is a very simple card, don't get me wrong, and I know that's not for everybody, but this was a really nice quick one to put together, and was some really nice quick crafting time for me. I am cutting in some little fishtails into the end of my sentiment strip, and again, you might have a die that does this, but it's just as quick for me to do it with scissors. I'm popping half a foam square on each end because it's going to straddle over the top of the flowers there. A little bit of liquid glue in the middle, and then that will finish off my card for today. I didn't want to add anything extra. I felt like this card was perfect as is. And that is it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I really love reading your comments. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye!